Hi, I'm Fran Fraschilla from ESPN, and let's wrap up the recent NBA draft and also talk about getting back from San Antonio, where I just watched Jeff Capel, the coach of Oklahoma, coach the under-18 USA team as they try to qualify for next year's under-19 World Championships. No surprise on the draft in terms of international players. I told you earlier that it would be a quiet year, and primarily because a lot of good players in Europe are going to stay over and gain some more seasoning. Next year, however, look for 3 or 4 of the top European young big men to go early in the draft. All 4 may go as high as the top 12 picks, and it's led by a young guy that will likely play at Kentucky this year, pending his eligibility situation, and that is Enes Kanter. 6'11", 260. He wore out the USA in the Hoop Summit in April out in Portland, Oregon. He's a Turkish kid who's, to me, like a Turkish Karl Malone. Donatas Montiunas, a 7-footer from Lithuania, had his name in the draft, pulled it out. He'll spend another year in Italy getting some more seasoning, and he's a face-up 4 or 5 man who has to get a little bit stronger to play inside. Another guy that I'm very high on and actually could be the number 1 or 2 pick next year is Jan Vesely, a 6'11" small forward who's from the Czech Republic and plays in Serbia right now. And obviously when you talk about next year's draft, you're talking about guys like Harrison Barnes and maybe Perry Jones from Baylor, some other outstanding young players who are going to be entering college. And so keep an eye on all those guys. The thing I want to talk about today, and I'm going to be writing an article about this, is I'm a big proponent now that I've learned the FIBA basketball game, the international game, of the 24-second shot clock. I believe, although the NBA has used it for a long, long time, and FIBA adopted the 24-second clock, I think it's time that we use it at the college level, drop it from 35, and also use the 24-second clock in high school and grassroots basketball. And the epiphany I've had with this is that the more I watch young international players play, the more I realize that the shot clock facilitates quick offensive and defensive decisions amongst young players. And I think it would really, really help the development of youth basketball and high school basketball and grassroots basketball in America if we had a shot clock at that level. It really does foster, I think, the game in terms of players having to make decisions, whether it was in a pick and roll situation or a dribble penetration situation or motion offense basketball, where the 24-second shot clock is forcing you to make decisions as players and as a team. So I'm going to be writing an article about that in the coming weeks on ESPN.com, and I want you to look for that, because I really think after really being around international basketball the last 10 or 15 years, that it's a big reason why the execution of offense in international basketball is so much fun to watch. Obviously, if we can marry that execution with the great athleticism that a lot of our young players have at the grassroots, high school, and college level, I think it would make for a better brand of American basketball and really foster the development of basketball at every level of our country. So keep an eye on that. I'm Fran Fraschilla. Thanks for being with me.